Hi, my name is Rachel. In 2 months, I'm going to graduate from college. I don't know what exactly I thought my college experience was going to be like, but college always looked pretty cool on TikTok, Instagram, or movies. My first semester of college was okay. It was fun having freedom, but I hadn't found my place at all yet. I spent a lot of time missing home and eating by myself. On top of that, I got mono, and then strep throat, and then winter break came, and I realized I wasn't that excited to go back to school when it was over because I still hadn't made many friends. So I joined a sorority. And I'm really glad I did because it helped me put myself out there, and I met my roommates for the next 3 years through it. I made one of my best friends to this day. Although I'm really grateful I did it for some of the people I met, I ended up dropping the sorority less than a year later because I didn't like the Greek life popularity contest type of culture, and drinking all the time made me too sick. Sophomore year, I got strep throat almost every month. I didn't have a car at school, so I had to walk to student health every time I was sick. And then I had to Uber to CVS for my antibiotics, which was expensive and shitty. It was really defeating. Every time I drank or went out, I got strep throat. I pitied myself because I couldn't just enjoy college and party the way it seemed like everyone else was. I have pretty bad health anxiety, so every time I get sick, I'm very anxious, and I was sick all the time, so my anxiety was constantly spiking. High stress levels weaken your immune system, so it was just a diabolical cycle. To throw something else in the mix, because why not, I was dealing with pain in my cervix and a multitude of doctor's appointments trying to figure out what was wrong. Eventually, I got diagnosed with a precancerous lesion in my cervix from HPV. That sucked, to say the least. I didn't know what it meant or how I should be coping. All I knew was that I was scared. I felt isolated from everyone else, like I was weaker, and like I was failing at my college experience. My hair started falling out, in clumps in the shower, all over my clothes throughout the day, just constant. You don't realize how much of your identity revolves around your hair until you start to lose it. I found myself constantly scanning the girls in my class's hair, searching desperately for someone else with thin hair, because I wanted so badly to feel better about the state of my own and the small spots that appeared almost bald. This was kind of a breaking point for me, the juncture of my mental health. I had never experienced panic attacks as bad as the ones I was dealing with freshman and sophomore year of college. During the hair loss, they were brutal. I was debating dropping out. I often felt trapped in my own skin, like the sky was closing in on me and I couldn't breathe. You don't see this part of life on your friends' Instagrams. No one posts the night spent falling asleep on FaceTime with their mom because it's the only way they can stop hyperventilating, or the hair falling out in clumps, or the HPV diagnosis. But that's real life. I was in therapy, but as much as I love my therapist, it wasn't enough at the time. The chemicals in my brain needed to be adjusted. I had always been afraid to treat my anxiety with medicine because I was afraid of the side effects. That's the irony with anxiety. You scare yourself out of getting the treatment that would help. But I was at rock bottom. I decided I would try whatever it took and finally get on antidepressants because I felt like I couldn't get any worse than I already felt, so why not give it a shot? Thank God I did. Getting on meds changed my life. My brain needed to be balanced so badly, and once I did that, gradually, I was finally able to feel happy and clear-headed again. The hair loss also got better. I found out I had seborrheic dermatitis, which was probably brought on by stress, and I started using a shampoo to treat it. 2 years into college, I finally figured out what I wanted my major to be. English to become a librarian. That left me really behind on classes because up until then I had been a completely different major. But it didn't matter to me because I finally felt like I was doing what I was meant to do. I felt like I belonged in my class discussions for the first time ever. Then, the summer after my junior year, I got surgery to have my tonsils removed. The doctors had been recommending I did it for a long time, but I had so much anxiety around the surgery. My therapist helped me build up the courage and belief that I was strong enough, and I finally did it because I wanted a better future. Once I got my tonsils out, I stopped getting sick all the time, which was a relief unlike anything else. I felt almost normal again. On top of all this stuff going on behind the scenes, I had to pass 6 classes a semester to graduate on time. That would be difficult even without the added health issues. I failed 3 classes over the span of my college career, which sucks. I realized my phone was a huge distraction. It really is that damn phone sometimes, and I made a decision to delete my social media. Now I'm at a place where I feel like I have a grip on my mental health. I'm happy a lot of the time. For the first time in my life, I have a boyfriend who goes above and beyond to make me feel valued, and I can attribute that not only to his character, but to the self-worth I built up in myself that allows me to finally choose people who treat me the way I know I deserve. I have learned a lot about myself these past 4 years living on my own, and I'm so proud of myself for getting to where I'm at. Now I'm entering another transitional period of graduating and dealing with the stress of moving back home with my parents and losing my independence in a sense and searching for a job. And also, I'm going to be in $100,000 of student loan debt. Yeah. Thank you, America. These are the things no one posts about. Being in your early 20s is full of transitional periods, which greatly spike anxiety and depression. So of course I'm stressed about the massive amount of debt I'm in, and of course I still get anxious about my health. But one thing I won't do is compare myself to, quote-unquote, where I should be. Because more than anything else, I'm proud of myself, because I got through all that. I got myself through it. Living on my own, growing up. So if you relate to this at all, you're not failing. You're just 21.